Toby the puppy was born on a big farm on the outskirts of a sleepy village. He was part of a litter of 5 puppies, so he had 4 brothers and sisters who were born at the same time. Mr. and Mrs. Williams were the owners of the farm. Toby's parents were their pets. The Williams family was so happy to have such cute, fluffy puppies living on their farm. When Toby was first born, he spent all his time in a big cardboard box with his siblings. Thankfully, it wasn't just any old box. It was very comfortable and big enough for all the puppies to fit in. The floor felt warm and cozy. The box always smelled nice. But most importantly, it even had extra room so Toby's mother could fit comfortably. That meant she could be with her puppies during the day, as well as sleep with them at night. Mama Dog was fairly small, with a gorgeous black and white coat. Mrs. Williams carefully brushed her fur every morning, and she also gave her baths, so her fur always felt silky and clean. Mama Dog enjoyed spending most of her time inside the cardboard box with her puppies. She liked to watch over Toby and his siblings. She fed them, cleaned them, and kept them warm. Mama Dog was like the soft dough that keeps the chocolate chips in place in a delicious cookie. Her presence was sweet, reassuring, and comforting. She created such a calm atmosphere in their home. Toby and all his siblings loved to cuddle up to their mother while they were sleeping. Puppies are born with their eyes closed. But even though they couldn't see yet, each one of the puppies knew exactly how to find their mother. They followed her scent and the warmth of her body. Then they crawled straight towards her and leaned against her belly. When Mama wasn't in the box, Toby liked to snuggle up to his siblings. Their warm bodies and soft fur made him feel very cozy and ready to rest. Even though Toby couldn't see, he could feel with his little paws and body that he was in a safe place where he could sleep as much as he wanted. And he slept a lot. Puppies need a great deal of sleep and food because they are growing very quickly. As the days went by, Toby and his brothers and sisters started to feel a bit more curious and had more energy. The house where the Williams family lived was big and filled with large windows. Toby started noticing how there was always a gentle breeze blowing through the house. It brushed his fur softly and entered his nose. The smells carried by the breeze were subtle and sweet. There were also nice, stronger smells that made his tummy growl as if he was ready to eat. Toby was becoming increasingly curious about these smells. He wanted to know where they came from and what they were. But he and his siblings still had their eyes closed. Though they remained in the cozy box, now that they were more curious and energetic, they started exploring it. Toby and his siblings sniffed around the warm floor and slowly crawled towards the corners of the box. And they found out that it was even bigger than they had imagined. There were some new things in the box, too. Toby moved around until his head bumped into some type of soft fabric. It was the softest thing he had ever touched. The blanket was large and thick. Toby managed to crawl onto the blanket. His body felt the embrace of this thick and delicate fabric. The contact with his fur, paws, head, and ears was like nothing he had experienced before. It was like his personal cocoon of peace and safety. He felt so comfortable and relaxed that he decided to take a long nap right there. The next morning, Toby woke up even more eager to explore this comfortable big box. He found a way to get untangled from the blanket and managed to crawl a bit further until his nose sensed a smell he hadn't experienced before. It was a strong scent. Toby was becoming more fearless by the day, so he opened his mouth a bit and licked the thing emitting the smell. It turned out that it was a small and round object. There were several of them inside the box. As Toby would later learn, this was something called a ball, and it was fun to chew on. Right now, his teeth were only just starting to grow, but he could still enjoy the new smell and flavor. His whole mouth came to life when he was playing with the rubber ball, and the material massaged his lips as well as his gums. This left him feeling so relaxed that he couldn't help but take another long nap. Time went by fast inside the puppy's box. Their fur was longer and fluffier now. They looked like small and delicate cotton balls, slowly moving around the box. Now, their colors were starting to show more clearly as well. There were 2 puppies with shiny black coats, while 2 had white fur combined with light brown parts. And finally, there was Toby, the only pup that looked just like his mother. His fluffy fur was a combination of black and white. His chest was white like the wintry snow, as were his paws, mouth, and most parts of his head, aside from his floppy black ears. But what made Toby stand out were the 2 big spots of black fur surrounding each eye. The spots had uneven sizes, and this made Toby look even cuter. The puppies were growing quickly. Soon enough, Toby started opening his little eyes. He began with his left eye, while the right one remained closed, so he looked like he was winking. At first, he could only see blurry shapes and didn't really understand what was surrounding him. But Toby was very excited about his new ability, and he couldn't wait to be able to see more. A couple of days later, Toby's left eye opened fully, and his right eye started slowly opening as well. His sight was a little less blurry, and he could see more things at once now. That meant he was now able to see his mother. Although Mama was a small dog, she was big compared to him. Toby felt like he was looking at a beautiful and loving giant, a soft giant that was always looking after him and protecting him. Toby was also able to see his brothers and sisters for the first time. A couple of them looked like they were winking, while the others already had both eyes fully open. Toby was happy that they could all see each other. Each one of the soft, cuddly puppies that he had been snuggling up to now had a distinct face, as well as their own particular scent. Toby could also see the shape of their box now. The very soft blanket and the toys revealed their shapes too. But of all his new abilities, what Toby found to be the most interesting was that he was now capable of perceiving light and darkness. Light was a wonderful thing, Toby thought. Every morning, he could see it slowly finding its way through all the windows and crevices in the house. And when it reached him, he felt like he was wrapped in a ball of warmth that caressed his whole little body. This made him feel relaxed and safe. Mornings became Toby's favorite moment of the day. It only took a couple more days for all the puppy's eyes to be fully open. Now that Toby could see clearly, he was ready to start taking his first few steps. When he first tried to straighten his legs, they quickly became wobbly, and Toby sank to the floor like jelly. He didn't know that walking would be so hard, but Mama was there, watching him try, and she was looking at him calmly and reassuringly. This gave Toby the strength to try to stand on his 4 legs again. And this time, he did it. Toby felt like he was on top of a mountain. From up here, he had a better view, and he could see even more things. He certainly wanted more of this. So he made a big effort and started slowly placing his legs one in front of the other, as if he were carefully walking on a cloud. After some days practicing, all the pups were able to walk. Toby's abilities to see and walk completely changed his perception of the world around him, and he was ready to explore more of it. Soon after, when the puppies were 4 weeks old, Mr. and Mrs. Williams decided that it was time to take them outside of the house. Toby was amazed at how big the outside world was. In front of him were large spaces made of different types of surfaces. The first thing that caught his eye was the grass. Carefully, he put one paw on this huge carpet. He felt a slight tickle. But after a brief moment, his paw had become one with the surface. Then, Toby placed all 4 paws on the grass. All of them were tingling with this new leafy sensation and with excitement. At times, the little blades of grass got between his paw pads and tickled him. But the grass also made the ground feel padded and solid, like it was safe to walk on. So Toby embraced this new experience and started walking around on the grass. And then, suddenly, walking turned into running. Toby had never done this before. When he ran, he could feel the breeze even more intensely. As he moved rapidly, the breeze pushed his floppy ears back so they massaged the sides of his head. All his fur was pushed backwards as well. It was as if his fur was being combed. It felt fresh and new. Toby loved how the clean breeze made him feel when he was running through it. And outdoors, the sun was shining even more brightly. With the fresh breeze, Toby felt just right. As he ran around the farm, he saw plants, flowers, and trees for the first time. His nose picked up many new scents, which all came from nature. The flowers had just been watered, smelled sweet and fresh. Some of them had lighter smells, while others were stronger. But Toby liked them all. The scents of roses, lilies, and lots of other types of flowers made him feel like he was being transported to another place where there was nothing but serenity. Toby was so delighted by the smell of the lilacs that he got even closer with the intention of licking them. He took a deep breath, trying to absorb all the scents that he could. Then he took a step closer, put his tongue on one of the petals, and licked it all the way. It was an amazing sensation. This surface was the silkiest he had ever tasted. The petals looked so fragile that he was very careful when licking them for a second time. His tongue and mouth were filled with a sweet aroma. Toby closed his eyes for a moment and slowly licked his lips. Then he closed his mouth to enjoy this wonderful fragrance and trap it inside like a treasure. After enjoying his walk around the flowers, Toby started gazing upwards. He hadn't noticed how tall the trees could be. When he scratched the surface of a tree trunk with his paws, he felt how hard and strong it was. And the trunk kept growing upwards. As it got taller, branches grew from it in every direction, creating an enormous umbrella that provided Toby with cool shade. This was the perfect spot to rest peacefully for a while. So he lay down. After resting for a bit, Toby looked at the ground under his paws. To his surprise, it wasn't completely still. Dark shapes covered the ground and moved across it to a certain rhythm. Toby was curious, so he tried to place his paws on each of the moving shapes. He wanted to catch them and find out what they were. So he hopped and jumped, chasing the shapes on the ground until something fell softly on top of his head. Toby shook his head and the thing dropped to the ground. It was a leaf like the ones that grew on the flower stems, but this one was bigger. He looked up again and squinted his eyes to see the top of the very tall tree more clearly. Now that he was paying closer attention, he could see that leaves also grew on trees. They sprouted from the branches, and when the breeze flew by, they moved. The leaves looked like they were dancing to the rhythm of the wind, and somehow this dance was being replicated on the ground where Toby stood. He He was amazed at how diverse nature could be. It was both soft and hard, as well as fragile and strong. It could emit lovely scents and perform the most beautiful dances. And it filled Toby with peace and serenity, creating safe spaces for him to explore, play, and rest. Nature was a marvelous thing, Toby decided. And then Mr. and Mrs. Williams came over and began to pick up the puppies. One by one, they put them back inside their cozy cardboard box. Mama went inside too. All the puppies started yawning after that wonderful trip outdoors. They were happy, but very tired as well. The puppies all snuggled up to Mama's belly and to each other, ready to go to sleep. As he closed his eyes, Toby remembered the leaves on the tree and their slow dance in the wind. He started to feel like a leaf himself, being peacefully cradled by a gentle breeze. And with this calming sensation, Toby drifted off to sleep.